Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
So, Michelle.
Yeah.
Are we going to freeze this week? Are you going to freeze? For those who watched the YouTube version of the podcast, you were treated to Michelle frozen in time and space. It's weird though, because like on your end, the program was crashing.
Yeah.
But yet it could still, audio must have still been exchanging because it knew to cut to you when you talked.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, it's really weird.
But so real quick before we talk about the pleasantries of life, I want to give a quick update that Henwolf is doing just fine. About 3 hours after our last show, I got called by the veterinarian and told what was going on. Her blood work came back good. Her urinalysis came back good. So she is, in fact, yesterday was her first day on Proin, the medication to hopefully stop her sleep incontinence. And so far she's acting completely normal. And you want to talk about life can be kind sometimes. I can just throw her pill up in the air and she'll catch it and swallow it.
She's so weird.
That's just extra good because at the juncture right now, I have to give her 2 pills a day, every day, forever.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it's going to be so non-eventful is very nice. Like I don't even have to wrap it in cheese. Now it is a flavored pill.
Mm-hmm. But still.
But Chicano won't touch a flavored pill.
Yeah.
He's like, ugh, I don't want that. It smells like food, but it's medicine. I don't want to live. So speaking of which, by the time people are listening to this, it'll be over. But tomorrow is Chicano's surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be taking him in and getting his mass removed. And it should go perfectly fine. I really don't. Sure. I don't have much worry. I mean, I have worry because I'm a worrying type, but I don't have much worry. I think he's going to be just fine. He's sleeping under my desk right now. He had a hell of a time with the fireworks for the 4th of July. But actually on the day of the 4th, I gave him extra of his medicine and he wasn't too bad. I mean, you could tell he was stressed, but he wasn't horribly stressed. He wasn't like pacing and you know, uncontrollably panting and drooling or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but listen to Michelle flexing with her air conditioning. She's like, listen how cool it is in here.
You know, last year I tried to record in the bathroom to get away from the air conditioning, and then you said you didn't like the way that sounded, and we probably should better do with the air conditioning.
I mean, you are aware of how terrible that bathroom is acoustically, right?
Yeah, but so
I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, like, that was a horrible sounding room.
I know, but I was just trying to make it quiet for you.
You should just build a voice booth in your basement. You have all that space down there.
Yeah, I should.
That'd be really cool, actually. I could show you some tutorials on how to build incredibly cheap acoustic panels with just stuff from Lowe's.
My only issue is, my basement's pretty dry, but it does have some, stuff going, moisture. And
you mean like humidity and stuff?
Moisture coming in from water. I'd be kind of worried about having something that is soft and could attract mold down there. So there are some things I'd have to take care of first.
I still think it'd be cool. I wish I had enough space to build a vocal booth. I do everything in my office, which is decent as far as how it sounds. It's decent.
Yeah.
Although I think I've told you, so I don't know now. I think it was about 10 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, I switched audio interfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Because I not only do this show, but obviously I do Weekly Spooky and I do audiobooks and I do voiceover work. And I wanted a new interface, which is the thingy that you plug your microphone into and makes it a digital signal so you can use it for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I buy a nice interface, not like a crazy nice interface, but a nice interface. Not the cheapest interface, but not a $300 interface. Just a nice interface. And I love everything about it except it. One of the reasons I wanted it was that it would pipe in what is on the other audio tracks while you're recording, so that I could like do the Weekly Spooky intro and hear the Weekly Spooky theme underneath my own voice live, which helps me kind of get in the mood, and it helps me kind of, I don't know, it helps the timing, it helps everything. I love that. I love having that. And I did, something like 75 episodes of Weekly Spooky where I just did it and then put it over top of the music, and there was no interaction. And I love being able to hear hear the music swell and then start talking right when the swell stops, or like when it's about to swell, I'll let myself pause because I'm like listening to it. And it's the same track every week, so I get, used to what it does. Anyway, the entire point of this is, so it has a headphone out that you listen to, and then you choose how much mix you want, how much from the computer and how much from your own microphone. Like right now, as we're recording this, I have that set up so that I hear I hear a lot of you and a little bit of me, because it would be weird to want to hear a lot of me and a little bit of you. That would be very confusing.
Yeah.
But
as nice as it would be.
But so for some reason, the headphone jack just is not very good. And everything sounds noisier through it. So like yesterday I was a little stressed out and I was doing Weekly Spooky. Some weeks are harder than others to do Weekly Spooky. Some weeks, the highlight of my entire week is getting to sit down and read a story out loud into the mic. And then some weeks nothing could sound worse for like how anxious I am or whatever. So I really have to power through it. So I was having one of those weeks. And every time I listened to the recording, I sounded so noisy, and I was like, why does this sound so noisy? I'm using an expensive mic. And what happens is I don't think, oh, something is broken. I think, oh, I've been doing it wrong my entire life, and today is the day that I've discovered the problem. That's what happens. That's what I do. So I ended up getting so in my own head about how bad it was sounding over the headphones. And it could be that it's the headphones I'm using. I'm actually thinking about trying out a different pair of headphones. I've been looking for an excuse to waste money on a new pair of headphones for a really long time. Maybe this is it.
Yeah.
But so I decided, in order to make sure that I wasn't crazy and that the sound is good, I went and got my Apple AirPods Pro and put them in and connected them to the computer and listened to the recordings back, and they literally sound flawless. But I don't understand why these headphones literally add like room noise is what it sounds like they add.
Yeah.
That's why it's so weird. And that's why it's so frustrating, because I know there's some room noise in here and I try my best to reduce it, but there's only so much you can do. I'm not a miracle worker. So anyway, so I got that out of the way. Oh, I remember what I wanted to tell you about. I wanted to tell you something really sad.
Okay.
Because I know how much you like sads. So I'm a filmmaker. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Okay. So I make movies, and one thing that has been really amazing in the space of movie making has been the community, because but there's lots of different types of communities. There's communities full of people who wish they could do it. There are communities full of people who do it. There are communities full of a mix of that. There's lots of different communities. Well, my buddy Jay Horton has started one of the best filmmaking communities ever. It's almost exclusively working filmmakers that have had stuff released, and we talk extremely openly about our experiences in business and stuff like that, which you don't find everywhere. You don't find people who are willing to say like, yes, this is how much money I made off of blank or whatever. And we talk like that. But every now and then somebody sneaks into the group that probably does not belong in the group. And usually they are self-promoters, or people who are just trying to say like, hey, here's my movie, and everybody's like, we don't care, like We're here to talk about making movies.
Yeah.
Like, don't plug your movie because we're not going to go watch it. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, now, if we all just talked about like, can an action movie with a female lead make money? And you go, my action movie with a female lead just dropped on Amazon. That is okay. That is relevant to the conversation, and maybe some of us want to watch it. But when you just walk in and go, hey, everybody, me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, on top of that, you get people who are like foreign and they don't really understand what the group is about. They're just hoping to get business. And then you get people who just really can't read the room. So in the film business, there are things called sales agents and producers reps. And often they do the exact same thing, which is they sell your movie to marketplaces. And they can be an incredible partner. They can be an incredible strategic business partner, having a producer rep or a sales agent. They can also be shysters, because it's not impossible to become a sales agent. I have literally sales agented movies for friends. Now, granted, I mean, I've been in the business for a while and I've sold a bunch of movies, but like, but if I've agented other movies, I could clearly go start a sales agent company tomorrow if I wanted to. Now, how good would I be? Maybe
Probably
not.
Very good.
I could be great or I could be terrible. In fact, during quarantine, that was something I said whenever I was really frustrated. I'd say, like, I didn't start doing this to become a sales agent because I felt like all I was doing was agenting all day long. So, but there are all kinds of different sales agents, and a lot of them are scams. A lot of them will come and find you and be like, hey, you know, insert name here. I noticed you have insert movie here, which they have not seen. We would love to do something with it. And all we need is some money. So there are involved ways of ripping you off, and then there are simple ways of ripping you off. The involved ways of ripping you off are saying like, oh, golly gee, Michelle, your movie is totally good for the European market, but it needs a QC. So that's $300. And here's our guy to QC through. And then they probably get a kickback from it.
Yeah.
The other one is, oh, by golly, we talked about this last week. By golly, you need E&O insurance. Here's our E&O rep. And then they get a kickback because they send you to the E&O guy, the errors and omission insurance guy. So then those are like the advanced scams. And they may not actually be scams. It may be that they're just taking advantage of the fact that you don't understand that your movie's not going to be as successful as you hope. They're like, hey, let's have you put a couple grand in, and in reality, your movie may make no money at all.
But that's close to being a scam.
It's close to a scam. Well, so here's the deal. So in the filmmaking group today, this morning, right before you and I sat down to record together, this gentleman posts, and a week ago he had posted about how he had an agenting company. He wasn't like being aggressive or particularly scammy sounding, but he was like, here's my website, here's what we do. And a few people said like, that's cool. That's it. Nobody cared. Nobody could give a fuck. So today he posts and said, would you pay? Oh, and so sorry, I almost got ahead of myself. The scammer scams just say like, we want to agent your movie, give us $3,000.
Yeah.
That's it. And now they may say like, and it's for E&O and it's for QC and it's for, but that's what they'll do. So he says, would you pay an upfront fee for a sales company to help you with film distribution? Which is wonderfully vague, right? To help you with film distribution. What does that mean? Is there a guarantee in there that you're going to do anything? But would you, right? Here's the immediate responses in order. Nope, no, never. No. These are different people. No, no. And then but then you get people like, there are hundreds of companies like this. And then you get one that says, one that said, never been doing this for close to 20 years and only one rep has asked for a fee up front. Then he switched tactics and said he was actually a producer's rep. In this business, any upfront fee usually means very little will happen with your film because a legit sales agent knows that his percentage he will make on the back end will be more. And then the funniest part is, seriously, don't pay this person or company. It won't end well. The guy is the company. That's really funny. But so then I decided, because a few people had said, like, well, maybe, I mean, if they are, good, they have a good track record. So I commented and said, here's why I won't pay. I was the first person to say no on this thread, by the way. I put, quote, "Hey, filmmaker, great job investing so much time and money into your project and taking the risks to get it out there. We are not interested in risk, so pay us up front. We have no confidence in our ability or business model." Because a real sales agent, a real one that's going to make money, or at least try, is going to be like, here's the deal. Like, I'm just going to make up some numbers, but here's the deal. We're going to take your movie and we're going to split the proceeds 80-20 in your favor after we recoup $15,000 in expenses. Now, from there, you can negotiate. I have one time on a contract, I got a $25,000 spending cap knocked down to zero. By going like, do you think we could do not? So you never know. I mean, negotiation is a thing. I once negotiated a contract for aggregate sale of 6 movies while I was at the grocery store. I was just emailing back and forth, I think 40-60 would be fair. I think 25-75 sounds fair to me. I just can't do that. How about we do, we do 30% in your favor and we never talk about it again. That's one of my favorite negotiation tactics, by the way, is once we went back and forth more than three times, what I have to say is like, how about we just do this and never have to talk anymore about this? Because I'm tired of it already. So anyway, I didn't mean for this to be like a movie sales seminar, but this poor guy, he probably has legit desire to help. But he doesn't have clearly legit desire to risk his own money to build his business. And that pisses me off. So I've dealt with a lot of distributors, and most of them will expense against your movie. And usually it's not like a flat fee like a sales rep. Sales reps will be like, oh, it's $25,000 or $50,000 or whatever. And they say that's for like, you're paying your part of them going to the sales offices all over the world. You're paying for their, them to go into the film festivals. You're paying for all that stuff. And then you're paying for like the marketing and the artwork and the blah, 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 blah. And they're not lying. It's just that it's not that expensive usually. Now, the funny thing is, if your movie costs like $250,000, then yeah, it probably would cost them $20,000 to get a sale, but they're probably going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So anyway, but with like a traditional distributor, you'll have your split agreement and then they'll have expenses, but the expenses kind of come as they come. Like if they make DVDs of your movie, they may be like, okay, that's $2,000 in expenses for the DVDs we made. Oh, we spent $500 making your artwork. Oh, we spent $1,000 cutting your trailer. Oh, we spent $500 delivering your movie to like digital platforms. And you make that back and then your split starts. That's totally completely normal. And I've dealt with that a lot. But I've also dealt with, there's one distributor who he may be my favorite, although we've done the least amount of business together, of course, but he may be my favorite distributor because his attitude is every time a check comes in, he splits it and gives you your half. And when people say like, what about expenses? He's like, well, I mean, I didn't pay anything to make the goddamn movie. Why should you pay me to make the goddamn DVDs? Yeah. I love that attitude. Of course, he is a director. That's why he has that attitude. So anyway, but somebody had commented on this thread later on and said, because a lot of people were just like, no. I mean, literally like 30 no's. And then one guy said, if they have a good, honest, strategic plan, is your phone ringing?
No, it's not ringing. I don't even know how that ringtone got like that. Everything's fine.
I want everyone to know that Michelle doesn't silence her phone during the show.
Silencing it right now. I'm having phone problems. My operating system updated and everything's weird now.
Michelle doesn't silence her phone.
It's silenced now.
That tells you what she thinks of the listeners. That she's like, maybe I'll take a call. Harsh.
I mean, if it was important, I would have taken it.
But so somebody commented said if they had a good strategic plan, yes. So far, only crooked con men and women. So then the poster commented said, could you describe the strategic plan more? What kind of things would you want to see? So then the guy said, a real plan with weekly goals and objectives based on past success. And I immediately replied, you'd think with all that success, they could take their piece off the earnings. And then the poster said, wouldn't it save you money if you got to keep all of the gross receipts? And I said, yeah, if there are any. That's one time when I was making a distribution deal. The deal was 60-40 in the distributor's favor, which is now much less common. But back then it was somewhat common. Mm-hmm. And I said yes, and I should have fought. But I fought a little bit. I was 21. I should have fought a little bit. But the main reason I didn't fight a little bit is he said, look, I know other places will give you 50-50, but 50-50 of 0 is 0. And 50-50 of 15 is a lot less than 60-40 of 100. So I did the deal. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I don't know. I found that amusing. That like it was just a swarm of like filmmakers who've sold their movies all over the world, all in unison, shooting down this concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also feel bad for that guy. I don't think he's trying to be a scammer. I think he's just lazy. Well, haven't you ever had somebody be like really crummy or whatever, and you're like, huh, are you evil or are you just incompetent?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just incompetent. I think he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, maybe this will help him then. Maybe he will see it and he'll go, oh, maybe I have to actually put some of the risk in myself in order to make a business.
Well, but now hold on. Most people don't risk anything when they start a business. That's why capitalism is bad, because it's so easy to do, but nobody else can do it except the people who do it.
Yeah.
That is the most succinct description of other people's description of capitalism I've ever come up with. I'm so mad. What they do isn't even hard. Why don't you do it? What? It's unfair. Tax them more. So anyway, now that I've bullshitted for a long time about a bunch of stuff, I just need to get that off my chest. And if any young filmmakers are listening, you just got a lot of free education. You are welcome. So, Michelle, how far are you from done with your home inspector school?
I have one more class.
Is that tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight's your last class?
Yeah.
The last ever?
I mean, probably.
That's exciting.
I guess.
So you have your last class tonight, and then I know you told me you wanted to spend about a month reviewing and preparing to take the exam.
I don't remember setting a time limit, but I do remember saying, really?
You said a month to me.
Okay, then a month. Whatever.
No, you don't have to do a month. I think that sounded long, but I'm not here to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, I guess I was just talking. I want to spend an amount of time going over things.
Yeah. So, and you have what, 3 inspections left? 2 inspections left?
No, I have 3. Do
you have any scheduled this week?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Just one, because I couldn't schedule any more because it took away my credit. Because the website stopped. The website used to work not correctly, and now it works correctly. So I could only set one up at a time.
Sure. The website did it to you.
Otherwise, I'd be at one today, right now.
That's true. That's why we recorded on Saturday last week, which was party time, except that you didn't wear a Hawaiian shirt or anything.
You didn't tell me.
There's no way I didn't. It should be pretty much known that if we're recording on a weekend, you're supposed to, dress like it's the weekend. But whatever, whatever. So, but no, that's very exciting. So once your schooling is finished, are you allowed to take the test before you have all of the shadows done, or no?
Yeah, because it's not the New Jersey test; it's the national test. So I could take it whenever. I could have taken it already, honestly.
Oh, sure.
I just don't know anything.
So, and then you have to take the New Jersey test later?
No, it's just the tests. So it's just New Jersey just is one. If you pass, they're like, oh, okay, that's
okay,
the one we do. So
so why does anybody take the New Jersey test then if they can just take the national test?
There's no New Jersey test.
Oh, it was a hypothetical New Jersey test?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, there's no New Jersey test. There's just the national one, and that's the one that New Jersey you have to pass.
Okay. Yeah. For the record, it sounded like there was a New Jersey test because you're like, it's not a New Jersey test. But you just meant because Jersey is generally difficult. Is that why you were saying, why you even referenced a Jersey test? You were saying it was like difficult?
I think so. Probably. Yeah.
Because you said it's not like the New Jersey test.
Oh, that's that's my fault. It is I used like as just like a place filler, not as a what the word means. So I just so what I was trying to say is it's not New Jersey's test. It's a national test. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that's my fault.
That's why I was so confused. I thought I was going crazy too. You could have kept that up and gaslit the shit out of me very well, by the way, if you had just kept that going.
But I didn't. Yeah, I know.
But that's exciting. So once you take your test and have because you have to have the shadows as well, right? You have to have all of those in order to get your full certification. Right?
Yeah, New Jersey.
Okay. So in PA you could start once you pass the test, but in Jersey you also have to have the shadowing.
PA is really, really weird because PA doesn't have any certifications or anything. It's one of those states where you can just they're like, you got to join a national home inspector organization that requires you to complete at least 100 inspections before being a full member, but there's no such thing as being a full member at any of these. So
that's not confusing.
I don't know, like, if I should practice in PA, if I should not practice in PA. Like, I'm already a member of one of them. So
I mean, I would say practice in as many places as you can, as within reason.
It's one of those things where it's like I have to decide if that's safe.
Safe.
Yeah, like, because I don't know. Because PA is so weird because it's like, you need to do this thing, but we have no way to tell if you did this thing. So, because we don't have any oversight. So, I don't know. It's complicated.
Well, as long as you do a competent job, aren't you safe?
Well, I'm never safe because they can always just sue me because I didn't know. I didn't know. And... and then the house fell down.
But that's what your E&O insurance is for.
Yeah, it is. But they'll still sue me through my E&O insurance.
I mean, fair.
Which is why I'm going to have an LLC, by the way, I decided.
Okay. Because a single party LLC is often not divisible from the owner. I am not giving any legal advice. I just want to say, make sure, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having an LLC. Just make sure you look into it because single owner LLCs don't offer as much protection as you think.
Okay,
that's why I never did one.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it because if it's not going to really offer any protection I have insurance for that, but if it's not going to offer any additional protection, then fuck it. Like, it's just more paperwork.
Yeah.
So.
Or it may be that it's been a while since I looked into it. It's been a few years now. But the last time I looked into it, being a single owner LLC just meant you were not in any way divisible from the company as far as taxes and stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can form an LLC that's much more complicated, that has like completely separate tax holdings and everything like that. But then it's just insanely more complicated.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I mean, you'll figure out what's right for you and you'll talk to an expert to find out. I just every few years, I'm like, should I go LLC? And then I just stay sole proprietor because it's just. Because the problem is, like, if I want full protection, I need to be like an S corp or something. But that's a lot of work. Like, you have to keep tons of records and all kinds of shit. So, anyway, but if it's cheaper to just not be a single owner LLC, I will happily own 0.5% of your business in order to just technically not be a single party LLC.
Well, that's very nice of you.
I'm just offering. I mean, if that's legal or whatever the lowest legal limit is, which I assume would be at worst 1%. But I feel like because maybe they don't allow you to own fractions of a percentage. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know anything about that.
The only good thing about having an LLC in PA is like most places, if you have an LLC, you have to like file every year and pay money and stuff. Like you have to do a report, and then you pay like $170 some odd a year to kind of renew your LLC.
You don't do that here.
Well, you do it in a lot of states. In PA, there's just not any anymore.
See, that sounds like what I was talking about with the single owner LLC, where it you just file one tax return. But that would suggest that you have very little protection if you only file one tax return.
No. It's not the tax return. It's like your renewal on the day that you decided to be an LLC report thing.
I'd have to look into it.
Yeah. I mean, I know every state is different. I know New Jersey, it's yearly and it's $70.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
So LLCs, they are a little confusing. But I've been a sole proprietor for a few years and it's fine. But being an LLC is fine too. And then you can just file DBAs under your LLC if you still want to try to do the 2 company names at once thing that we talked about, which we won't talk about on the air because I don't want to give away your business genius. I'm telling you though, I'm very sorry, LLC. That's like if you're gonna do it. So, but no, that's very exciting, and I hope that I hope you move swiftly because I know you want to get a change in your life, and I want you to get a change in your life too.
Thanks.
Hey, and we're like 2 weeks away from seeing each other in person.
Yeah, we are
in human person. I thought about having us do a podcast while we're in the same room, but I think I'll be too tired. But I might change my mind just in case. I'll pack, some recording stuff.
Okay.
So no promises, people out there, but maybe we'll do a podcast in person with each other. But I'm just excited to see you. It's been like a year and a half since I've seen you because of the COVID thing. Because usually I see you in the summer and maybe in the fall. Yeah. And both summer and fall were pretty big busts last year. So I'm looking forward to that. But now I'm going to go for no reason read about LLCs as soon as we're off this.
Yeah, me too. Well, not as soon as, but today, because I got to figure this out.
Maybe we should change the name of the show to This Show is Awkward LLC. Just so we're protected. We're not going to file anything, but we'll just make it the name.
Yeah.
Incorporated LLC. Esquire.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowis awkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.